Alright, there we are. We have started. Let's take this out. Oh, got this nice stream layout now. So you wanted to start with smoke instead of mute?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know which ones you have set up for the other 4, but that's fine.
Right, smoke.
No, well, let's not start yet.
For casual. No.
We haven't even introduced the
waiting?
topic.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I'm gonna
Alright.
arrange them while you're talking.
Well, instead of continuing our U.S. state tier list that we might continue at a different date, we decided to do something completely different. Today we're ranking all of the Rainbow Six Siege operators for Operation North Star, which will end in about 2 weeks, I believe. But in consideration for playing casual, I don't actually play too much casual anymore. I've switched to quick match, but that doesn't mean I don't know anything about it because I played quick match for a long time. And I probably will still continue playing quick match. Quick match is a little different from unranked and ranked, in which most people aren't playing optimally, and that means sometimes a lot of your defense strats don't work because people don't rush from the same way you think they will. A lot of the times it means your teammates are going to be pretty bad. Sometimes that's just what it means in any round, though. And it's also kind of assuming that you're not the best player in the game either, because you're playing on casual. Not to say that playing about casual means you're bad, but if you're playing on ranked, you're probably pretty good at the game, at least.
Yeah.
So, we're starting pretty much just going down the list of operators as they've been released. We have a few here. Smoke is our first operator go-to, so why don't we get started?
Yeah. Smoke kind of stinks in casual. I'm gonna be honest.
Smoke is a very good ranked operator.
He's a very good operator. As for casual, honestly, not that great.
So Smoke is pretty much the best area denial operator in the game.
Just is in general.
His only 2 really contenders are Goyo and Tachanka, who Tachanka is a lot harder to use, and Goyo you have to set his things down prematurely. So he's definitely a little bit harder, but an important thing about Smoke is, unlike Goyo, if you die and you haven't used all of your smokes, your utility is gone. Your teammates can't use your smokes after you've died, unlike the Goyo shields. And in casual, if you don't know what you're doing as well, you're probably gonna die earlier.
Smoke is a 2-speed. He's not fast.
Yeah, casual ends in. I would say it ends in kills more often than it ends. I mean, normally rounds end in kills rather than an objective, but I think it's more so in casual than it is in unranked and ranked. And
yeah, way more often ends in kills.
Smoke really wants to worry about the objective, and if that's not happening, then it's not as great. I've done pretty well with Smoke, especially in unranked games, but he isn't as great here in casual as he is in a competitive scenario.
I only really use Smoke in casual because I have the cool I have the Outbreak uniform for him.
I normally,
aside from that, not a lot going for him. Just to be honest,
the main reason I normally use Smoke is for a shield, because I love deployable shields. But then there's also other operators that can use deployable shields, like Alibi,
like
Ella, Echo.
Yeah, and especially Ella. Like, Ella is just kind of the better version of casual smoke because for things, you can her gadget gets used even after you die. Right? Like it's a thing that you can just put down. It's set and forget. And
yeah.
her shotgun is 10 times better. Her SMG is 10 times better than his shotgun. Right? And
Her,
she has a shield and everything. And she's a 3-speed. So for casual, Ella is just better in general.
I'd say Ella's shotgun is better in terms of casual. I do think Smoke's shotgun is arguably better in a competitive format, though.
Oh,
I'd say
yeah, in competitive.
Smoke B or C tier.
Smoke, honestly, for casual, he's kind of decent. He's decent. He's not bad.
I'm thinking a B tier for now.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you're playing decent is my C tier. But the thing is, it's just like if you're playing casual and you're playing casual competitively, right?
yeah,
Like if you're trying to win in casual, Smoke just isn't really. Plus, he's not that fun of an operator to play, honestly.
and that's the reason you're playing casual is to have fun normally.
Yeah.
Our next operator.
Because yeah,
I mean, if you
Mute.
want to keep talking about Smoke, that's fine, but we did
Yeah.
already rank him.
Mute.
Mute is like all of the British operators. Mute is a pretty good operator, especially in competitive format. Mute works pretty well in casual. There's a lot. Mute really wants to deny drones, and there is noticeably less droning in casual, but that does not mean there's none. And one thing that's also been noted for Mute that actually made him receive a nerf in the upcoming season is the fact that he just kind of is a jack of all trades in which he can deny drones, he stops you from breaching the wall, and then he's got the shotgun for rotates with his SMG secondary, similar to Smoke.
Yeah. He was. We're not talking. We're not. We'll do Crystal Guard. We'll like re-rank for Crystal Guard nerfs after, right?
We're going to talk about our predictions for Crystal Guard when we're done. We might do a similar stream after Crystal Guard is started and gone ongoing, but we will definitely put rank predictions afterwards. I'd say Mute currently is as good, if not better, than Smoke.
I would say definitely better for casual. Because honestly, in casual, he just does more, in my opinion.
It's another example of him not doing as good as he does in a competitive format in casual, but he's still very good.
Also, because casual is a shithole of roamers. His gadget is really, really good to help combat roamers.
Flankers, too, yeah.
Or I mean, not to combat roamers, to assist roamers. I mean, because placing them by because a big part of casual is just guarding entrances for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And he kind of excels at assisting that because if you can mute, like for instance, if we're talking about like Canal, right? You know the main entrance on Canal that everybody goes in.
Yes.
Yeah. So think like talking about that, right? Like if you mute all the entrances to there, right? They can't really drone it very effectively, and it just makes it an easy position to hold, pretty much.
It's actually been like I've seen people talk about it that Mute would be an excellent roamer himself if he was a 3-speed, because he would just be kind of an off-white vigil in that form. Mute's one of my favorite operators. I've played him for a very long time. He was my main when I started the game. I still play him a lot now. I'd say he goes in A tier.
I would definitely agree with that. I think that he's a great pick. Next, we have who's next?
I got Sledge. I don't know if you have Thatcher or Sledge, but I got Sledge.
Sledge, yeah, is the one.
Sledge
is pretty good in casual.
Sludge is pretty good in casual, and in competitive, I think he's arguably the worst in competitive. Definitely not here in casual.
The worst in competitive. No, he's good in competitive.
He's good in competitive. I know. I agree. I'm saying the worst of the 4 British operators. They're all very good.
Oh, yeah. Worst of the 4 British operators, but ironically, one of the most picked.
Yes. For now. Because
For now.
um
Taking away his SMG-11, I don't think is going to do a whole lot, but it might. It might.
Sludge is a soft breacher like Ash, like Buck, like Zofia. Sludge's
Yeah,
gun is very good.
Except unlike Buck, Ash, and Zofia, right? His gun didn't get a major recoil nerf.
I don't think Buck's did, but he did get his frag
Bucks
grenades taken away.
did a long time ago, and it really set him out of favor. Buck lost his nades and got a huge nerf to his weapon, but in exchange for the recoil nerf, he got a 1.5x, which changed nothing,
In
and
exchange,
still has a really low pick rate.
in exchange for the good gun and the frag grenades, Sludge has the downside of having to be right there when he breaches something.
Yeah,
But
that's definitely a downside.
he also can do it 24 times. You're not breaking his hammer in a match unless you're trying to break his hammer in a match, generally.
Yeah.
So you're just going to be able to use it pretty much as you want. And the frag grenades, it's not as great as in competitive because destroying utility isn't such a important thing in casual.
But then again, also with the grenades, also comes with the added caveat in casual of not as much Jaeger play.
That is
So
that is
his
true.
grenades are going to be way more effective at killing people, way less effective at utility denial.
I surprisingly don't see that much vertical gameplay from Sledges in casual, even though that's what I normally like to do. Like that's what I had in my Sludge video.
I don't like vertical play as much because I never find it works out very often.
Yeah,
But I definitely see
shooting through the floor
how
is
it
kind of
can be strong.
annoying, but I do like hatch play. Hatch play is nice. I think Sledge is a pretty good pick. I mean, I'm never going to complain about someone picking Sledge over Ash, Zofia, or Buck. Especially
Yeah,
Buck.
me neither.
I definitely think he's going to be a better choice than Buck.
Absolutely.
Frag grenades, great. Gun, great. SMG secondary for now, great. It's what people have said about what Sledge was before they took away his SMG. He's just a well-rounded operator that just works out pretty well. It's what every operator should aspire to be. Like in terms of buffs and nerfs, I think Sledge is a good example of where every operator should be in terms of how strong they are.
Yeah, a strong operator, but not so strong that it breaks the game, but also not too weak that he can be ignored.
I think he's better than Smoke. I don't know if he's as good as Mute, but I'm still gonna put him in A tier.
I think that he is roughly at the same level as Mute, but I'm gonna put him at the same level as Mute for my tier list.
Okay, Thatcher's an interesting pick. So one of the notable differences between casual and competitive playlists is, first of all, the large variety of maps, and second of all, the defenders don't get to pick their sites, which seems like a good thing for the attackers overall, which it is, but it does remove that predictability of where they're going to be when you're picking your operator. In an unranked or ranked format, and you're playing Chalet, you normally know when they're going to be playing in the basement, in which Thatcher is going to be a nice choice if he's not banned, which he normally is. But if you're picking Thatcher randomly in casual, you have no guarantee if he's actually going to be useful at all, especially since he doesn't destroy things anymore.
Yeah, that's a big thing, is that he does not destroy things. And also with the I think that he is sort of this is kind of a pro and a con at the same time. But him being effective against trap operators. A lot of people play trap operators in casual, and for good reason, because casual is pretty brain dead gameplay, to be honest.
People are rushing in without paying attention.
Yeah. So he is good against trap operators like Ella, like Capcan, you know. However,
Notably
he
not
doesn't counter
Frost.
Frost. Notably not Frost. There's a lot of Frost play in casual, to be honest. It is
There is
a
a
pretty
ton
good
of Frost
game.
play, and for good reason, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Legion doesn't affect legions. I don't know why it would in the first place, because it is a can of needles. I think it used to affect legions, doesn't anymore. And yeah, for good reason, as a can of needles. But
Yeah, I mean,
I think that he is pretty good.
when you're looking at all these operators, you're seeing, oh, he's a great counter Bandit, he's a great counter to Mute, he's a great counter for Cade. When you're trying to open the wall, he's amazing. But again, there's no predictability of whether you need to open the wall. So removing those three in terms of needing to open the wall, what else does he do? He gets rid of the traps, as you said, but
Some
again,
traps, but then again, you have to wait. You kind of have to take a gamble on whether or not there will be a trap on the doorway, because the range honestly isn't that great. I guess you could make the argument that he's good against Maestro, who does get a solid amount of play in casual because he can disable Maestros. But I don't know why you wouldn't just do Twitch.
things like Jaeger or Rooney, you're just going to use them to burn the thing. It's just going to be a replacement for flashbangs. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd say C or B. A lot worse.
I would say B because he has a solid weapon. Although his
true.
secondary utility is pretty bad. His secondary utility is pretty bad.
It's
I
just
would put him in
Claymores and
solid pick.
Breach, right?
Yeah, solid pick. Yeah, just Claymores and Breach Charge, yeah, which are both not great.
Alright, I'm putting him below Smoke, definitely, but in B. I don't know if I'm really going to order these, but in terms of the tier, but just note, it's great Smoke. We got our British operators just lined up here. Okay, the next one I have set up is Castle. Is yours Pulse?
Is mine Pulse? Well, mine aren't ordered by operator. I didn't order them, but it would be whatever you want, pretty much.
Okay, well I already have Castle here, so let's do Castle. Castle is one of those operators that just, if you don't know how to play him, it sucks. If your teammate doesn't know how to play him, it sucks. Roamers just die because you're playing Castle and barricading the entire side off and they can't get back in.
Yeah. However, some sites in casual, which I think I've actually demonstrated sort of well. I've had a lot of I have a lot of fun playing Castle, honestly. A lot more fun than other operators, and I think when you use his gadget well, he is very, very good and very fun. Especially because now there's a lot less operators. There's a lot less pick for Ashe and Zofia, especially.
That is definitely true. And
in casual, Ashe and Zofia had a ton of pick, and it just made Castle's life really, really annoying. Now, with them both being nerfed really, really hard, they both got hit really, really hard by nerfs. It definitely helped them out. It definitely helped Castle out a lot.
100%. Castle. You don't want to Castle as a teammate, but if you know what you're doing as Castle, he's pretty good. Because it's interesting because I would definitely think he's a D or F if you don't know what you're doing. But an A or B.
Like if you're just castling, if you castle in between sites, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what I mean. Unless you're in a certain situation, like a lot of people in competitive play, what they'll do is they'll castle between sites on, I think it's mining room or mining exhibit and train room on cafe, so that they can put a rotate in a safer spot, which is actually smart. And that's actually a really highly picked castle spot. However, nobody's doing that in casual. Nobody's organizing it.
I would like to note though, his other utility as a secondary shotgun, the super shorty, which is nice, and then also procs and alarms are definitely not a bad secondary gadget.
Not bad. I think he has what is proc? It's proc alarms and something else. What's the other one?
I'm not sure. Let me check real quick. Castle has impacts. That's also pretty good because he can use them
Also,
to
yeah,
destroy his castles if he needs to quickly. So I think he evens out to a C tier in terms of he can be really good, but he can be really bad. So
I can agree with that definitely.
I think a C tier is where he's gonna land. It's just kind of just a weird operator to put.
Oh, actually, what?
His first,
You have an underrated tier, don't you?
I don't have an underrated tier.
Okay,
It's
I'm
just
gonna
the
put him in
base
my
tier.
underrated tier because I think that he's an underrated pick for casual if you know what you're doing.
All right. All right. So our next one is Pulse. Pulse. Pulse's only real drawback is his gun, and it's a
Yeah,
pretty
oh,
bad
same with
drawback.
castle.
It's a pretty bad drawback because his gun sucks.
Yeah, I think on castle the gun isn't as much of a problem. On pulse, it's definitely more of a problem because pulse is more focused on roaming, and a lot of roamers have really good weapons. Like Vigil has a really good weapon.
Alibi, amazing weapon.
Alibi. Oh well, assuming you're playing Alibi as a roamer.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah, a lot of the
Cav
roamers have
doesn't
good
have great
weapons.
weapons, but she
Yeah,
makes up for it.
But Cav has a very
Yeah,
specific kit, so it kind of
she
excuses
makes
that
up
as
for
well.
it.
Yeah.
But Pulse's primary weapon is his nitro cell, and his secondary is the ump.
Yeah, real.
And
Pulse
the
is
thing
very
is,
good. Also, Pulse is very good post plant or
Pulse
while
is,
they're planting.
or while they're planting. I have a clip that's going in my Pulse video if it comes out anytime in the future.
Problem with
While someone's
post
planting.
plant. Nobody plants in casual.
Yes.
There's almost no planting.
There's
The
very little
diffuser is
planting.
either in Narnia.
Yeah. Because there's no communication either. Your thermite with the diffuser spawns the opposite of the map and gets spawn peeked while your 4 teammates are want to get the wall opened. Pulse, if you screw up Pulse's C4, he's just an unfortunate teammate, an unfortunate thing to have. That he's not gonna do much after you waste that C4. It really sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, especially in casual, assuming you're not an amazing player, that's gonna happen more times than not.
Yeah, and a lot of I don't know why there's a lot of cry. For some reason, there's a lot of cry to nerf Pulse. Don't know why that's necessary, but I think Pulse. Honestly, Pulse is a fun. I mained Pulse for a little bit. Pulse is definitely a fun casual operator.
Pulse has a
As for
lot going
usefulness,
for him, but
he's not that great in casual because
yeah,
the situations that he's really good in don't happen very often.
yeah. Pulse has a lot going for him, but he just falls short in too many places. I think a C or a D even.
I'm putting him next to Smoke. I don't think he's garbage. There's definitely a few operators that are garbage. He's not one of them.
I'm putting him in C.
That's where mine is as well.
Oh, you put Smoke in C? I had Smoke in B. Our next operator is Ash. For a little bit, the FBI operators had a thing of going where they had bad defenders and good attackers, and then, well, some unfortunate things happened to Ash.
And Thermite in the form of Ace existed.
Yeah. We'll get to Thermite in a second, but Ash is our first one to go for. Ash is a very popular operator, was a very popular operator. She still is. Not nearly as much.
Not nearly as much. She has definitely fallen out of favor from most of the casual community.
Her gun is not good.
The R4C is not great anymore. There's a lot of horizontal recoil, and the vertical kick is very hard to control.
She still has Iana's gun, which isn't awful.
Not up. It's okay,
mm-hmm.
but it's
not
great.
It's not awful.
Nothing close. Nothing close to the original R4C.
She has the same amount of destructive rockets as Zofia does, and then Zofia gets the 2 concussion mines. Obviously, she has better gun choices than Zofia, unless you want to play the LMG, which I'm not gonna blame you. I'm not gonna blame you for playing the LMG.
I've seen a
pretty
lot
fun.
of people play the LMG. Don't know why they're doing it. I mean, it's good, right? But I don't know why you wouldn't just play with the recoil. Like the LMG isn't great by any means.
Yeah. But again, we should talk about Zofia when we talk about Zofia.
Yeah.
Ash just Ash's only thing over Sledge right now is the fact that she can do her thing from far away.
Yeah, and Sledge has nades.
Sledge has nades. Sledge has a better
Plus
gun.
Ash.
Sledge could do it 24
Ash.
times.
Yeah, and also Sledge is situationally fun. Or I mean, Ash is situationally fun. Ash is fun if you like you bazooka the doorway and then run in and just sprint in.
Get a 2 or 3
That
kill. Yeah.
yeah. The problem is that contributes nothing to the team,
If you just die.
and yeah, if you just lose, and honestly, was a lot better when she had the weapon to carry her through it. So, to be honest, I think that she is not very fun anymore. Her weapons kind of stink, and her gadget kind of her gadget is really bad now.
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty bad. I think she goes with our other 2 FBI operators in C.
She's still definitely she contributes nothing to the team, but the team doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter in casual.
So
I will put her in. I'm putting her in garbage. I don't like her.
that's fair. I actually don't have Ash. I've never found a reason to spend my 1,000
You don't
renown
have
on
Ash?
I don't. Why would I spend 1,000 renown on Ash when I
It's
could just
only
when I
1,000.
when
It's
I
like
could just
3
play
games.
Zofia?
I guess, yeah.
Next
Zofia,
one.
Ash is a 3-speed. That's another thing. Ash is a 3-speed.
That is important differential from Zofia, especially before both of them got
However,
nerfed.
what does that really do? Yeah.
Thermite is one of my favorite operators in the game.
Yeah. Thermite is cool.
Thermite is pretty much my main on unranked. If we need to get anything done requiring a wall, whether it be a hatch, whether it be a regular wall. Thermite for a very long time was overshadowed by Ace because Ace had more things. Ace could open the same amount.
Ace had smokes. Ace had a pre-nerf AK-12. Ace's gadget was it still is really strong, but it was really, really strong.
Ace's
only
gun
caveat to Ace was that it took a lot longer to go off, so Bandit could trick it pretty easily.
Yeah, but also, again, you don't have to stand right up against it. You don't have to stand right up against the wall. Which on outside sites that doesn't matter as much, but if you're going in through bakery and cafe, that's gonna suck. Obviously, there's more.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about is more of a competitive style of play because the smokes for Thermite is great for the plant. You're not planting as much as normal and casual. Thermite is a good pick for hard breacher, if not the best. I mean, if you're going for the plant, I'd say he's better than Ace. If you're not, because the smokes lose a lot of their utility when you're not going for the plant. They don't lose all of them. Smokes are still some of my favorite gadgets in the game. Secondary gadgets.
Yeah.
But
smokes can also be used against you.
Yeah, that's true. I think Thermite's definitely the best FBI operator. I'd say probably B in casual. I'd say he's better in a competitive playlist, but I'd say he goes and B here.
I think Castle is definitely a better competitive operator. However, Thermite having smokes now is definitely very good. And another thing that's also really good about Thermite is Thermite's weapon is really, really solid as well.
Yes.
There's not a lot wrong with Thermite's weapon.
I really like Thermite's weapon.
I think Thermite is the thing about Thermite. I think Thermite gets extra points in casual because in casual they don't play Bandit. So if you need a wall open, you don't really need a lot of support from your team.
A lot less, at least. You're worrying about mute. You're not worrying about Bandit or Cade.
Yeah, assuming you're even having to worry about mute. Out of the 3 operators that really can deny walls, there's not a whole lot you need to be concerned about.
The next one is
And
Doc.
having to run up, and yeah, not being able to do it from range is definitely annoying. However, it also, yeah, not having to do it with range is also a negative, but also not as big of a negative.
You're not gonna fuck up and throw it into a Jaeger.
Yeah.
But
although I don't know what situation there would be a Jaeger outside of the site.
I'm just still thinking about the cafe wall. Our next one is Doc.
Doc's okay in casual.
Doc's okay. You don't see spawn peaks as much as you do in casual, which I mean, you don't see spawn peaks with Doc as much anymore. Anyway.
Especially because no ACOG.
But this is North Star we're talking about. Who got added in North Star? Thunderbird got added in North Star. Their gadgets are different, obviously, but there's a couple things to note between them. Thunderbird's gadget, you have to be where they are to get healed by it. However, same with Smoke. Doc dies, and Stim Pistol's gone. You're not getting anything from it. Thunderbird dies, her gadgets are still there. I think they heal 10 less Thunderbird's gadgets compared to Doc. But there's 3 of them. You can just run along them, and they refill every 30 seconds.
I think it's every 45 seconds.
Oh, maybe check out Nerf. I thought it was 30 seconds at some point.
Might have been 30 seconds on test server. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. Doc has okay weapons. He has an MP5 and the P90, which are both, like, you can run either of them, honestly.
And Le French shotgun.
The French shotgun, which is, well, it's not the FBI shotgun, so.
Yeah,
but it's also it's also not the British shotgun, so
it's better than the British shotgun purely by stats.
Yeah.
It just sees no use whatsoever because it's on operators that have no use for it.
I think the British shotgun has more range, if I remember correctly.
I guess, maybe.
Doc is not great. Doc is not awful, but Doc is not great.
No.
Doc was fine before, but
definitely cool in casual to have a little thing to help you out, just because I mean, there's obviously going to be like little slip-ups.
There's less
help is going to get lost.
And there's less headshots in casual altogether, so there's more chance that you get out of a gunfight and you need it, rather than you just instantly
The
die.
overheal is not as useful. It's good in a clutch.
Assuming you haven't used all of them by then.
Assuming you haven't used all of them.
I'd say obviously if he's still alive, his gadget's better at reviving down teammates than Thunderbird's, because
definitely
you don't have to worry about positioning. You just have to shoot him any way you'd shoot a normal gun. But
yeah,
I honestly, I'd say he's worse than Pulsar Castle, who we put in C tier.
I would say that he's probably garbage, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm putting him here in D.
Rook. Oh boy.
Rook. If you don't know, every update Ubisoft gives a little win delta V play rate in the topped series of ranked for every operator. Rook has pretty much the lowest play rate with the highest win rate of all the defenders.
For some reason.
Rook gives you a defense boost when you're using it. At the same time, he
Except
also
they're removing that in.
it gives you a
the
health
news
boost in the new update. It also prevents you from dying from body shots. You will get downed every single time instead, which again
also
happens more.
niche.
It happens more in casual because your opponents aren't getting headshots as much. Rook.
Yeah.
Rook is decent. Rook has the same guns as Doc. I think he has the actual scope on the MP5, unlike Doc.
He has the 2x rather than the 1.5, which is definitely a bonus.
I guess again less spawn peaks in casual.
If any
at all. I'd say he's I 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna pick Rook more than Doc. Probably more than 9 times out of 10. Better than Doc. Not better than Smoke. So I think he's perfect for my C tier here.
Yeah.
But
honestly, not a lot to say about Rook.
Rook is pretty much the most bland operator in the game, honestly. You place his gadget down at the very beginning and that's it.
Yeah, his weapon is incredibly average. His gadget is incredibly boring. It has no dynamicness to the gadget.
In that terms, he is pretty much the easiest operator to play, to be fair, but
absolutely, yeah. Like playing the lower ranks, he's one of the I'm assuming, like, I feel like I saw him a lot more frequently in the lower ranks. Like when I was playing low stuff.
Yeah.
Like when I had just come off of CSGO and I started playing the game, I saw a lot of people playing Rook. And I think the Rook was the second operator that I got after, I believe after Sledge.
Rook, I'm never going to be mad about my teammates picking Rook, but that doesn't mean I'm going to pick Rook.
Yeah.
So, let's go. Rook goes in C tier.
Are we on the Germans now?
No, we still got our French attackers.
Oh,
Montagne is our next one for me. Montagne. Yes. Montang, whatever. It means mountain.
Yeah.
Monty used to be an operator that I played quite a bit, and then I realized, wow, it's really nice to have a fully automatic weapon.
Yeah. Montaigne can be either the most boring operator or the most fun operator in casual.
Yes.
It really depends on the team.
If your opponents don't know how to deal with Montaigne could be really fun. Montaigne has great secondary utility in smokes and hard breach charge. So sometimes you won't even need to worry about bringing a Thermite, Ace, or Bana. Again, less planting in casual, so that's a negative because that's what Monty wants to do.
Yeah, Monty wants to plant. And that is what Monty usually does.
When Monty's not planting, he's either being used as a movable wall that you hope your teammates won't shoot, or he's being used as this big indestructible drone that's staying against the edges and pinging everyone. Again, in casual, your opponents aren't going to know how to deal with Montaigne as much, just like Clash, who comes up later. I'd say I want to put him in B tier, but I don't think he's good enough.
I think that just because of how fun he can be if your team plays with him, if your team plays with you, like if they follow you and everything.
If you're communicating.
Problem is that requires your team to follow you. If
Mhm.
your team goes up ahead of you and just steals all of the stuff, steals all the kills, he
Yeah.
becomes really, really boring to play.
Monty could be Monty gameplay can be the same as when you're the only anchor on your team and your teammates get all the kills before anybody comes to sight.
Yeah.
Um, I I guess I'll put him in B. He's definitely bottom of B though. Twitch is the last one for our French operators. Twitch is amazing and she's only getting better.
Yeah.
Twitch's gadget is, for now, subpar. It's going to be, as far, it seems like it's going to be pretty good post Crystal Guard.
Yeah, with near infinite range because of the laser change,
5
I think
damage
SG is
each,
actually going to become 5 damage each, near infinite range,
jumping.
jumping.
And she gets an
Plus her
extra
weapon
drone.
isn't getting nerfed. Yeah,
Yeah.
plus an extra drone.
I don't
Plus
know
her weapon.
why. I totally expected a recoil nerf to her gun. Her gun is
I guess
why
I just
she's good
figured
right now.
one of the reasons. Her
Yeah.
gadget is also solid against. It's a hard counter to some operators who are very strong, or were very strong. Namely, Mira was
Yeah.
really, really strong for a while.
Yeah.
She counters Jaeger pretty well.
Yeah.
Can counter Bandit on some sites. Can counter Kaid on some sites. Can counter Kaid better than a lot of the breach helpers.
Yeah. Because
Such
you don't
as
necessarily know where the Cade thing is going to be.
like she's better than Callie against Cades. She's occasionally better than actually just Callie, I think.
Yeah. I mean, she's going to be better than Flores, obviously, for Cade.
Yeah.
Not as good as Thatcher. But I'd say, even though she's not as good as Thatcher, I think she's definitely a better pick than Thatcher. Because she's so much more efficient at utility destruction.
And she has smokes as well.
She has smokes. Her gun is, well, Thatcher's gun is good. Her gun is really good. It's great. It's
one of the best attacker weapons, and a lot of pro players say that it's the best gun in the game.
Yeah, especially like the AK would be arguably better, and then it got nerfed. But
Yeah.
I'm so surprised it did not get touched at all, but it didn't. So here we are. I think Twitch is a pretty good A. I don't think she.
Pretty easy, eh?
Yeah, I don't think she makes the S tier at all. But she.
No.
Honestly,
Not yet.
I'm not
I
thinking.
think in Crystal Guard, I think she would be an S tier, but
Yes.
right now she is not.
I'm not thinking too far ahead, but she might be the best utility destruction the attackers have.
Yeah, probably after Thatcher. Oh,
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna feed my cat.
All right.
Alright, I'm back.
Cool. Alright.
So who are we on now?
We are now on our German operators. We should probably
defenders.
speed things up a little bit. We got a lot of operators to go, but
Yeah. Jaeger, who? Jaeger?
yeah, Jaeger's the one I got. Jaeger's very popular among
Jaeger's very
every
popular.
playlist. Jaeger got nerfed and is still very popular, unlike Ashe.
Because honestly, his nerf didn't change him that much. It removed a lot of capacity from his weapon, which honestly I think was the worst change. His weapon recoil nerf wasn't that bad after playing with him. Not as harsh as Ashe or Zofia or the AK-12, honestly.
Yes.
His gadget is still really good. His gun is still decent. It's not like as incredible as it was. Still decent.
But it's nothing compared to the Zofia nerf.
Nothing at all.
And it's kind of surprising because his play rate was much more compared to the Ashe or Zofia. I mean, another important part about it is his gadget is a lot more unique. Umaya is the only one that really does anything similar, unlike Ashe or Zofia, which have their fair share of soft breach operators. And
so it really...
I mean, his gadget nerf was more of a rework than a nerf. I do think it's probably worse. It only does one at a time, but it still will reload eventually, and I don't think it's incredibly long. I think it's like 10-15 seconds. And
I think some people...
If you're really worried, just put 2 in one spot or bring a Wamai.
Yeah. And I think that he's definitely... I mean, his secondary utility is a bulletproof camera and barbed wire, which are two of arguably the worst defender secondary utilities.
Again, barbed wire isn't awful, but I agree.
Barbed wire is not awful. Bulletproof camera is awful in its current state.
Just compared to what it can be. Just compared to like a deployable shield or a nitro cell, obviously you want one of those instead. Again, speed the things up. I think Jaeger's a very good operator. I think
that he's a solid pick. I think he's definitely Thatcher level. I don't think he's very fun.
No.
Because his gadget is not very fun to use. It's very set and forget. But he's not bad. He's not bad at all.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm looking back at my Monty and I'm like, am I really gonna put Jaeger in the same tier as Monty? Jaeger's much better than Monty. But he's not.
My Monty is a tier lower than yours is, I think.
Yeah, honestly, you know what, Monty, you get to go. You get to go above Castle at the C tier. Let's do that. That looks better to me. That looks better to me. Bandit is a lot less popular. Bandit has a lot of things going against him. The thing, Bandit's kind of popular in competitive. I mean, he does what he does, but then why would you pick Bandit over Cade or Mute? The only reason is his gun and the fact that he's a 3-speed. And
yeah,
Mute wastes a quarter of his utility to take hold of most exterior walls, while Bandit uses half, and then Mute can still worry about drones without having to place down barbed wire. Cade can do 3 walls with one of his things. He only gets 2 Cade claws, right? Or is it 3?
Only gets 2 Cade claws.
But also he can get hatches. So a lot more versatile in that sense.
He can do 3 per. He can do 3 per thing. Plus, he can also get his area of effect thing, I think it just makes, honestly, it more useful than Bandit, in my opinion. His weapon is definitely worse than Bandit. The TCSG is funny, and it's a fun weapon to use, but it's not great.
Yeah.
And the AUG A3 is it has an angled grip, which is good. It has almost no recoil, which is good, and it has a 1.5x, which is good. Problem is, it's kind of in the same camp as like Mute's MP5K and Smoke's FMG11, where it's good, but it's not amazing.
Yeah.
So I think
I think
we're not on Kate though. We're on Bandit.
and then
Bandit's
Bandit's MP7 is good. Bandit has a lot. Again, why would you choose him over the other two? There's people are not playing objective as nearly as much as they are in competitive. Bandit tricking is great. You're not finding bandit tricking in casual though.
Yeah, and honestly, assuming we're talking like headshots, right? Bandit doesn't. You kind of have to like, assuming we're not hitting as many headshots because it's casual. Bandit doesn't hit many headshots. Bandit, like, unless you hit you, because his weapon does not do a lot of damage. So unless you're hitting the head, its time to kill is really low
Compared
to a lot of other operators. So to be honest, I don't think Bandit is a very good pick.
I think Bandit's like C because he's not bad. There's just why? Why would you? Why would you pick him?
He's okay.
Blitz, on the other hand, doesn't serve from the problem of why would you pick him, except you are asking why would you pick him.
You're picking him
because
he's a fun operator if you do well, which unfortunately kind of puts him in the same situation as like Montaigne,
but he's worse.
And a lot of the other shield operators, except for he doesn't do anything for his team whatsoever.
You play Blitz because you like spectating. Blitz is, if I remember correctly, Blitz has smokes, I think, unless they change that. Which
I believe he does have smokes.
Honestly, he's awful and competitive, awful and casual. You're just gonna get headshot, man. It's too easy, and his gadget's not predictable. I mean, you have to be pretty close to know that you actually blinded them. And I've had times where, especially in casual, Bandit flashes me, I just start shooting and knifing and I kill him and he doesn't get me.
Yeah, the fact that him knifing exposes him so much definitely counts against him.
I literally had not only a 3K yesterday, but I clutched the entire round because I killed Blitz when he flashed me, which might go up onto my YouTube channel sometime soon. Because that was pretty funny. Blitz is F tier. I used to like playing Blitz, but honestly, Blitz's one thing going for him is the prone gimmick in which his hip fire gets really good. He just drops shots.
Yeah.
And that's not enough, especially in casual when you're not going to pull it off as well. So congratulations, Blitz. You're the first one to be put down there.
Congratulations, Blitz. You are garbage. Sorry, but you're not good.
IQ's fine. IQ's buff seems like it's gonna be nice in the new update. IQ is just, honestly, IQ is an interesting pick because she doesn't have anything instantly going against her, but like she's just pretty bland and doesn't provide too much.
Yeah, I think the next update honestly isn't going to change that very much. She has a really good weapon in the form of the G8.
Yeah.
But her gadget is just boring. And casual especially. It's just not good.
Yeah, and I guess the new buff is going to change the thing about casual is, like, you do not communicate as much in casual, and you'll be able to ping things more. But especially like if you're not communicating in casual, your gadget only helps you, and that sucks.
Definitely, yeah, that it sucks a lot.
So
what are we thinking?
IQ's not Blitz tier, but IQ's not
I think
Ash
IQ.
tier. I think
Honestly, I think IQ is definitely garbage. Honestly, I think she's on the same tier as Blitz, Ash, and.
Well, you put Ash a lot lower than I did. I'm gonna put her next to Doc in D tier. I might decide not to do that because if I only get one D tier and being Doc, I can just name it Doc tier and it'd be funny.
Doc.
But for now we're putting it in D tier. Tachanka. Tachanka is smoke what worse.
I don't think anything needs to be said about Tachanka, to be honest.
Tachanka is
I
smoke
think
what
that he's
worse.
definitely a Chad pick. If you
Yeah.
play Tachanka, you're definitely Chad. However, I don't think that there's not a lot going for him. His LMG is bad. His SMG is good, except it doesn't have the 1.5x that Capcan has, and it doesn't really help his kit at all. Plus, you're getting rid of half of his kit being what? Making rotates.
Yeah. Which smoke can already do.
He can one-shot hatches.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see how useful that realistically is.
You're not roaming with Tachanka normally.
Well, you know, unless you're just insane.
Unless you're doing, as we said, the Chad pick. The Tachanka suffers from the same problem as Blitz, but it's worse. It's much worse. Unfortunately, Tachanka's rework didn't do much for him, so I think he goes here. You get to be above Blitz, but not above him in terms of a tier. You sit closer to the letter.
Yeah.
Capcan's the best Russian operator. That's not saying much.
That is not saying much at all, because the other Russian operators, it's a pretty low standard.
Yeah, Capcan is better in casual because no one's paying attention, and that's a definite plus.
Yeah. Definitely a lot better in casual than normal.
I've never seen Capcan kill in unranked, but to be fair, I've seen Capcan play twice in unranked. I've seen Capcan played a lot more in casual, and I've seen plenty of Capcan kills in casual. He gets a funny shotgun, I think, unless they removed it. I don't know why they would have.
No, he still has the funny shotgun.
Which is, like, again, you want to have fun in casual, funny. Then pretty good, but...
He does have a C4. However, he's fat. He's a 3-speed. Or no, he's a 2-speed. He's not as fat as the other 3 Russian operators, I believe, yeah.
I believe Glaz is a 2-speed too.
Ironic that the Russians are the ones getting fat, and not, you know, the free countries.
The free countries. The free countries that give Burgerville.
Burger, yeah.
I don't know if there's Burgerville in Russia.
There's no Burgerville anywhere.
Oh wait, Burgerville. I thought I said Burger King. Yeah, no, there's only Burgerville near us. Tachanka, I think Tachanka goes at the top of C tier, but I don't think he makes B tier.
Tachanka? Oh no, I mean Capcan.
Capcan.
Yeah, I think Capcan is definitely a C tier. That's about about where I'd put him as well.
I think that's at the utmost of where he goes, and I think that's pretty good.
Not great whatsoever, but he's okay enough that he's better than the other Russians for sure.
All right, Glaz. Glaz is fun. Glaz is fun on plane. Glaz is F tier.
But then again, Callie is more fun on plane. Callie is just better on plane because she's better at holding longer angles. Glaz is not great at holding long angles.
Yeah.
His weapon, because Callie can one shot down. I mean.
Yeah.
So why would you play Glaz?
I don't know. Why would you play Glaz? Glaz Glass is not as bad as Tachanka. Glass can be a pretty fun pick. To be fair, Glass can be pretty fun to play. That doesn't mean he's good.
Yeah, he can be
Because
fun.
Tachanka can be a pretty fun play. Blitz,
Yeah.
Blitz rarely is a
But
fun
is
play,
Tachanka good?
but I'd say he goes above Tachanka, but he still goes in our F tier. Fuse is better in casual. That's definitely true. Fuse is fun. That's also definitely true. Is Fuse
Fuse's
good?
fun is also debatable. Fuse's fun is debatable, in my opinion.
If you do well with Fuse, it can be really fun. If you don't do well with Fuse, well, barbed wire destroyed plus 10 points.
Yeah.
I'd put Blitz in our D tier.
I would
the bottom of it.
Oh, you mean Fuse? You said
Fuse?
Blitz.
Oh, did I say Blitz? I thought I said.
Yeah. I will put Fuse in that tier. He has a good weapon, but he's a 3-speed.
3 armor.
3 armor.
And that matters a lot more for the attackers than it does for the defenders. Alright, our next one is Frost. Frost is a great operator in casual. Frost does well in competitive when your opponents aren't expecting to play a Frost. Frost in casual, well, you could be pinged 10 million times to the moon and back, and your opponents still don't know you're playing Frost.
Yeah.
Especially in certain sites, you're just gonna do so well. It's like upstairs Oregon in casual upstairs Oregon with Frost. I have always gotten a kill playing Frost on that site in casual, and it's not rare that I get 3Ks in that site specifically because they don't know what's coming. They don't know.
Yeah.
Casual Frost, a lot better than competitive Frost. really
Honestly,
good.
And her weapon is pretty solid in casual.
Yeah.
Competitive.
Her fire rate's down, which is not great, but also you're not hitting headshots, and 45 damage, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it has the recoil on Frost gun is, I don't feel it, really. It's not
Nobody
much.
does.
It's
I think
like
that
nothing.
Frost is definitely an A tier, a great pick.
Yeah. I'm putting it at the top of A tier.
Yeah. Debatably S, but I don't think, not quite.
Yeah. Buck.
I wonder if I can efficiently mic breathe with this phone fan thing that I have.
Please don't.
How does it sound?
It sounds not horrible.
Not horrible?
Yeah.
It's nice. I have one of those, you know those things that they sold at the one bookstore? You know the famous Portland bookstore?
No.
Powell's Books, you know?
Please don't dox us.
It's not. Portland is a 1.5 million city. I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of Powell's Books here too. Buck.
Buck is trash.
Why would you pick Buck? What? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't, because you have Sledge. You could play Sophia, and you'd do better than Buck.
Buck arguably has the same amount of utility as Sledge does for soft reaching, because they have, I think Buck has 36 shots, so they have roughly the same amount for hard soft breaching.
And he can do it from the.
He can do it from a decent distance.
He can do it from below too.
And from below.
Can't destroy castle barricades. That's a notable part.
Problem, and not not like Maestro Cam, stuff like that, and deployable shields. So he does lose that. Problem, which is why I said both best. He is arguably the same amount of soft breaching stuff.
Yeah.
Problem with Buck is his weapon is terrible. It is so bad. Like
Yeah.
I mained him for a little while. I mained him.
Oh.
He's not good. He's not good whatsoever. I think that, and he has flashes and a hard breach charge. Neither of them complement his kit. You know,
Yeah.
he's a 2-speed, so there's that.
Unlike the other
I,
soft breachers, you're not. I mean, Sludge doesn't do it as much, but especially like compared to Asher or Zofia, you're not rushing into sight the same way you are, so flashbangs aren't helpful.
yeah.
Soft breach. Why the fuck do you need soft breach on fucking Buck?
No, not soft breach. It's
Hard breach?
stuns.
Oh
Stuns.
no, stun,
Hard breach. Hard
stun.
breach and stuns.
Hard breach and stuns. Okay, hard breach is nice. Hard breach is a pretty good attacker gadget.
Yeah. Problem is, it doesn't go with his kit at all. He's a entry frag.
Yeah.
Why would you need a hard breach on an entry frag? Riddle me that, huh?
Buck is not your substitute for Thermite, unlike Monty. Buck is not great. Let's, in the spirit of speeding things up, let's put Buck at D tier. He's not as bad as our friends at F tier, but he definitely is not average. Valkyrie is our next one. Valkyrie is, I actually have never played Valkyrie. I'm gonna admit it right now.
I've played Valkyrie. I mained Valkyrie when I started playing a little bit.
My brother made Valkyrie when he was playing. From what I know, Valkyrie's a pretty decent operator. She has C4, which complements her gadget pretty nicely. Having the extra cams because, and even in casual, everyone knows where the default cams are. So having those extra cams is really nice, even if you're not using them for gimmick runouts, which you do less in casual. Really, there's not much detracting from Valkyrie. I think our other secondary is impacts, which is fine. Like, I don't think people normally run impacts on Valkyrie, except for like if they're doing runouts and need to get back in. Like, I think she's a pretty decent pick. You said you mained her, so you probably know more than me. Hello, LJ. Let's put that down there. So what were your thoughts on Valkyrie?
My thoughts on Valkyrie is that honestly she's probably an A tier. Like, she's good.
I was thinking B. You think she's good as Mute, Frost, Twitch? Are you sure? I mean,
I think honestly she's as good as them. Yeah,
okay.
because she doesn't have as high of a pick rate because she's kind of boring. Her weapon doesn't detract from her that much though, because her gadget is really strong. Definitely one of the best gadgets in the game.
Yeah,
and it helps a lot
I agree
as well.
Again, I'd never complain about a Valkyrie on my team.
No, because it's just free intel.
I normally play anchors. I love having those extra cams. All right, our next one is Caviar.
I like Caviar. Don't think Caviar does it for the team, but she's okay.
Caviar is a notably interesting operator in that she's very good in competitive, lower ranked competitive.
And she's also pretty good in casual when
Yeah.
there are people who don't know what they're doing, and even against people who know what they're doing. Interrogation is the best passive in the game. It is the best passive in the entire game. Not a lot of passives.
I disagree.
Oh, okay. What's better?
I'd say Rooney's passive is very good.
Her rotate.
Her
But okay, but here's the thing. If interrogation was on any other operator, any stronger operator than Caviar, do you think that they would nerf it?
Well, it's kind of an interesting. If any other operator had illusion as their secondary, then probably. Not any other operator. Like, why the hell does Echo need interrogate?
Well,
but yeah,
but here's the thing.
like,
But if they have the ability to, is the thing,
if
right?
if a vigil, so let's say vigil's secondary downs somebody, like every time, just like Cavs. And
give Vigil Nook's gadget interrogation and Cav's pistol. The ultimate stealth operator.
At that point, why does it need to be Vigil?
Well, 3 speed and solid primary, really solid primary.
I think for any roamer, it's a great ability as long as they have the Cav's ability to make sure she downs somebody. I think Cavs is great in casual. I got the person in chat saying C or D tier.
Wow, a Cav hater.
I think that is a little harsh, especially in terms of we're playing quick match. I'd say she's probably C or B tier in terms of a competitive scene. I'd say a B or C tier in casual. I don't think she's A. I don't think she makes A at all. But honestly, I mean, looking at it, Cav's
Like,
gonna be
what does she have?
Cav's gonna be much better than Pulse or Bandit or Capcan. She's not gonna be as good as Valkyrie or Mute on your team. But so I think B tier is actually a perfect place to put her. What are your thoughts on that?
Where are you putting her?
I put her in B tier. Honestly, I'm actually gonna put her pretty close to the top of B tier. But that is literally only in the sense of it being casual.
Yeah. Outside of casual, not a good pick, to be honest.
I don't play roamers, but I think a Vigil is much gonna be better as a roamer than a Cav.
Yeah, Cav's ability is definitely really good.
Okay. Capitao. I don't see a lot of Capitao play anywhere, which is interesting because I don't know how good his gun is, but his gadget seems pretty nice. I mean, I love smokes, so that's a plus.
I have to go to eat dinner. Sorry.
All right.
My dad brought home food. I was not expecting that.
Dang. Well, it looks like we might continue this later, but not for now. That's unfortunate. We split our last tier list into 2 pieces, so I was hoping we would not do that again. But it looks like we're just gonna have to sit here. We might just continue it later tonight. We might continue it tomorrow. I have a lot of open time tomorrow to continue such a thing, so we're just gonna have to see. That's it for y'all now, though. So we're gonna have to end here. If anybody watching wants to continue watching, check back in a few hours. We might be there, or check back tomorrow if we don't.